All right, so here we go. Starting with lesson 9.1. We will spend any Google Meet time going over questions. And I thought you could watch these notes whenever you wanted to and get the assignment done. I will be slowing down the pace some. I'll be removing some problems. I don't know. We're just going to take it day by day and see how it goes. Let's see. Summer says hi. And Marlo says hi. Hey, Marlo. Can you say hi? I may have got her excited. She may be barking for the next few minutes. Okay, so let's jump in. So we're starting off with complete review work. Solving by factoring is something we've done many times before. I do want to remind you, I don't really like to factor when the leading coefficient is negative. So I'm going to take that negative out. But in addition to taking the negative out, I'm also going to take out a -2. So I'm going to take out a -2. That's going to give me 4x squared minus 23x plus 15 equals 0. And so then we're going to factor this. So hopefully 2x and 2x will work. I don't think it is, though, as I'm kind of rattling through some mental math in my mind. I think it's going to be 4x and 1x. And if I put my 5 here and my -3, see, that's minus 20x, and that's minus 3x. So that will give me the right middle term. So I want to remind you about a couple things that we learned. Is that the degree is 2, and the degree tells you how many answers you will get. So we're going to get 2 answers to this. So it's like, sometimes people say, I don't know what to do with that -2. Well, if I told you that 3 things multiplied together and gave me 0, hey Marlo, 3 things together multiplied together and gave me 0, and then I said, wait a second, one of those guys is -2. Well, is -2 the reason why the product is 0? No, it must be the B or the C. So I have -2 times something equaling 0. And so it's going to be one of those things. It's either going to be 4x minus 3 equaling 0 or x minus 5 equaling 0. So I get answers of 5, and then when I add my 3 and divide by 4, I get 3/4. So it's degree 2, and I got 2 answers. All right, so this one, I picked this one. Again, we're still factoring, and the reason why I picked this one is I wanted to remind you to look for GCFs. So I'm pretty sure that if I take 108 and divide it by 12, yep, it goes in evenly. So I'm going to pull out a 12 and an x, and that's going to give me x minus 9 equals 0. So we're going to set 12x equal to 0 and x minus 9 equal to 0. So we're going to add my 9, and I get x equals 9, and I divide by 12, and 0 divided by 12 is 0. So it's degree 2, and my 2 answers are 0 and 9. All right. I'm pretty sure that I took these 2 guys off of your assignments off of your My Math Lab. So we're going to skip those guys. And we're going to go to number 4 and 5. So this is write an equation in a quadratic equation in standard form with the given roots. So roots means the same thing as solutions. But here's the deal with this. This is the opposite of what we just did. So up here, I gave you the quadratic. You gave me the 2 solutions. Down here, I'm going to give you the 2 solutions, and you're going to give me the quadratic. So it's kind of like doing this guy in reverse. So think like, if you have 3/4 for an answer, well, let's start with the easy one. If you have 5 for an answer, where did 5 come from? 5 came from x minus 5. Now, if you have 3/4 for an answer, it didn't come from x minus 3/4. Look at what it came from, 4x minus 3. All right, so let's supply that to down here. So we'll start with an easy one. If I got 3 for an answer, then that came from the factor x minus 3. Now, if I got negative 2/7 for an answer, I'm going to give you a second. What factor would give me negative 2/7 for an answer? Hopefully, you figured out 7x plus 2. And if you're confused, then go over to the side and set 7x plus 2 equal to 0. Minus your 2 and divide by 7. Yep, it totally gives you negative 2/7 for an answer. All right, now why isn't this my answer? Because it's not written like a quadratic. And so in standard form means there's no fractions. Okay, so I got to FOIL this out. So that's going to be 7x squared, that's plus 2x, minus 21x minus 6 equals 0. So 7x squared minus 19x minus 6 equals 0. All right, so let's practice that again. So what would give me 3/7 would be 7x minus 3, and what would give me negative 2/5 would be 5x plus 2. So then to turn it into a quadratic, we factor it out. So that's going to be 35x squared plus 14x minus 15x minus 6 equals 0. So that's 35x squared minus x minus 6 equals 0. Okay, so that's kind of, all some review of factoring. So I'm going to stop the video right now, and because the next topic is going to be actually something new. It's going to be the new part of Chapter 9.